Hey everybody, Davey here from Davey's World Fishing. With all of this incredible Dorado fishing going in Southern California, these fish are keyed in on tiny baits. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some awesome little artificial micro baits, something you should have in your arsenal. Now, if you're an angler out here in Southern California, you've seen the Dorado counts lately, and they are skyrocketing. It has been absolutely insane out there. In fact, one of the half-day boats out of Long Beach the other day got near limits of Dorado for all of their anglers. Crazy. The fish are as close as the oil rig, so the 150 out of Long Beach, off of Dana Point, they're hitting some of the really close kelp patties, and they're on the Dorado and Yellowtail there as well. It's nuts. I happened to go out on Thursday with the Stoked on Fishing guys. We went all the way out to the 289. We worked inside the channel, and these Dorado were everywhere. They're greyhounding bait. They've got everything schooled up. They're foaming. It was just something you never see here in Southern California. Absolutely awesome. We managed to hook a couple on these big sardine baits. In fact, we went to go see Nacho, and the bait we had was 7 to 8 inches, so big. But when we did catch some Dorado, when they're up foaming, you get that bait in there, everything's gonna work out perfect for you. You're gonna get bit. You'll get some of those Dorado to the boat. But what we noticed is that those Dorado were keyed in on tiny, tiny baits. When you get those things on the deck, they're spitting out little tiny baits. We're talking 2 to 3 inches long. Noticing that right away, when we got to some schools where the fish wouldn't bite those big sardines, we're seeing breezers, we're seeing them underneath the kelp, and they wouldn't bite it. We started thinking, let's throw some micro baits at these things. So we did. We tied on some of the small baits, and we got bit a lot. It was actually awesome. Here's a picture of one that I got right here on the FishLab flanker. Now the flanker is an awesome little bait. It's a little stick bait. Actually, here it is here. It's a little tiny stick bait. It's nice and skinny, not very long. This one here happens to be about 4 inches. But long cast, just retrieved that thing, and it got bit quite well, actually. Some of the other baits that we were throwing that got bit are gonna be the FishLab Winglet. This is actually an all zinc bait. It's actually really heavy. You can throw this thing forever, let it sink out a little bit, and just grind it in. It's gonna get like an erratic swim action right back to the boat. And the other one is the FishLab Finesse Casting Jig. Now this is actually about the size of the bait that those Dorado were spitting up. So you want to match the hatch. You've heard that saying. Everybody says that. All bait companies, everybody says that. But you really want to be keyed in on what those Dorado are feeding on, or any fish for that matter. So underneath those kelps, as you pull up, you're going to see all kinds of little micro baits swimming around. You don't see big sardines. You're not seeing big 7, 8 inch sardines under there swimming around. You're seeing this micro bait. And what's happening is those Dorado, they're circling those kelp patties, or they're out in the free water. They've got that bait all schooled up, and it's all that little tiny stuff. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're focused on. But when they're up and they're foaming and everything else, like I said, you can throw those big baits, get bit, no problem. But what you want to do, drop down in that bait size. Don't be afraid to throw an artificial at these Dorado. They're gonna bite it. Something like that, FishLab, that's that Finesse Casting Jig. This one here happens to be about 2 inches. I think it's about 1 ounce. I'll put some links down below in the description. You can take a look at them, but they make a couple different sizes. They're weighted nice. When they fall, they actually got a little bit of a flutter to them, but just long cast, slow retrieve that thing in, and just let it kind of work its way back up through that water column, right through that school of fish. These dudes get bit. That Winglet, little tiny bait right there, that's about 2.5 inches, maybe even 3. Heavy bait, long cast. Don't be afraid to throw this one. There's yellowtail on those kelp patties as well. Dorado love that pink. If you go on the Florida side, a lot of times they're throwing hoochies, just a pink squid skirt with a little bit of a weight inside of it. Usually you put a sliding sinker with that hoochie over the top of it, and it's got pink. But that one has to be a little bit of a pink and chrome. It's got a crate swim to it as well, very erratic as it's coming through the water. And then that flanker, I can't say enough about that flanker. The flanker, this thing is nuts. We were just out in Florida. We were killing snook on it out there. But locally here, the Dorado have been going crazy. I don't know if it's the slim profile or the erratic action, but these things are cool. Now the setup I'm using for these local Dorado is the Komodo SS. That's the 350 size. This particular one here is the 364, so 6.4 to 1 gear ratio. You're gonna get about 3 to 3.5 feet every crank of that handle. So you make that long cast, just a straight retrieve on these guys, and it's bringing in 3 feet every one crank. So those baits are going to be working nicely. It's not too fast. They'll go up and down in the water column, and lots of drag. You're going to get over 20 pounds of drag on that Komodo SS. Very easy to cast, very well built, all stainless steel. I'm sure you've seen lots of my videos on the Komodo SS and the components, all the stainless steel stuff happening there. But I have that matched up to a PCH inshore rod. This one happens to be the 8-foot heavy. Great casting. I have one of the, just one from the other day, as a matter of fact. That's one of the winglets. You can see it's all chewed up. Awesome little setup for what we're doing here locally. You get into those yellowtail with that 20 pounds of drag, easy to stop them, especially those kelp patty yellowtail. They're not huge, but turn their head, get them to the boat, and move on to the next. I appreciate y'all checking in. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below and subscribe to Davey's World Fishing up in that right-hand corner. See you soon.